All right. I want to do an introduction. Let me do one of our interviews from yesterday. We actually have Jenny Halasz, one of the speakers from yesterday, and I forgot the exact title, but we can hear this in the interview. But she was talking about SEO and landing pages. I think was something of the title, and I wanted to share this interview with you. I think there's some good information here, and so check it out. This is Jenny Halasz. This is Damond Nollan, and we are here with Tim Arthur and Michael Render. We're at the Triangle AMA Digital Marketing Training Camp 2012. We have a special guest. She just finished her presentation, and her name is Jenny Halasz. And her presentation was on search engine and landing page optimization. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you could join us.
Thank you so much.
Well, first of all, tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then we'll jump into your presentation.
Absolutely. I'm a former search agency exec who climbed up that ladder and didn't like the view from the top. I decided to strike out on my own about a year ago doing consulting, and it's really been a fun ride learning to do it on my own and owning my own business. So I'm trying to do more and more talks like this to get my name out there. So
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
The name of your company is JLH Marketing, Inc.?
That's right.
That's it. Okay. So your topic today, search engine and landing page optimization. Now, this is definitely important to us. I know that Mike Render, this is one of my guys on the team.
Hello.
We develop web pages for the university. And so clearly knowing your audience and asking the very real questions of what do you want them to do when they get there are things that we oftentimes ask our customers. But tell us a little bit about your presentation today.
Absolutely. So my goal today was really just to give people a 1,000-foot view of landing page optimization. The idea that there are these fundamentals that are really, in essence, instinct. That your goal is to create for your users and create something that they can interact with easily and quickly. You want to drive them through a path that meets your ultimate conversion metric, whatever that might be, whether it's to have them fill out a form or make a purchase. It's different for everybody.
One of the things I noticed at the higher education level, and we deal with, I think, 170 different departments for a team of 4. And one of the questions we keep asking is, what is your goal? You know, what do you want them to do? And it's so hard to get them to answer the question. Like,
it's amazing how often they don't know that, isn't it?
Yeah. How can I help you help yourself? So what do you say in those situations? Like, how do you milk it out of them to say, look, I need you to answer this?
Well, I think a lot of it is learning to read between the lines. I did an article recently on the questions to ask a customer when you're first starting out to get an idea of what their keywords are and what their ultimate goal is.
Gotcha.
And one of them is to ask them to give you their sales pitch. And if you ask them to give you their sales pitch and you stop them every time they use a word that you have no idea what it means, then you can start to figure out what it is that they really do.
Gotcha. Now, earlier on in your presentation, you talked about search engine optimization, and you jumped briefly into Google and the personalization that they're now doing. So before, which is what, I think Google Plus and this new thing they're doing there where you can do a search, or you said keyword research, and as a result, you can see what your friends are reading or recommending, what they're sharing, right?
Yes, but only if they have profiles on Google Plus, which is a bit irritating.
Right. If you're in somebody's circle, they'll appear in your search results.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the days, and I'm not a big SEO, guru or anything. So, but I understand that the way that we used to do it, and this is kind of what you said, is the way we used to do it is going out the door. The way we are doing it today is through the personalization. So knowing that, does it really matter that we're number one? Or should we continue to seek to be number one in the search engine results?
That's an excellent question. And one I get asked by potential customers all the time is, can you guarantee me ranking? Or can you get me in the top 5?
Right.
And the question is where and when and for who? because everything is personalized. There's no such thing as a number one listing anymore. It depends on where you're located. You can even you can even use like an incognito browser in Chrome or something, but it's still going to log your IP address and give you results based on where you're located. So there's really no such thing as a number one listing on Google anymore. And that to me is the most telling in how far search has come and how we're moving back to this traditional marketing mindset of you have to create a target market. You have to find out who your target market is and go after them, because you're going to have to figure out how to get in front of them in this personalized environment.
Wow.
So in terms of prior to the recent addition of personalization to the search results, it was probably, I think the stats I saw was about 40% of people would click on the number one listing in Google. Okay. So now when approaching a customer who had the goal to be number one on Google because they realized that's going to be about 40% of the click-throughs, now how has that changed, since there is no baseline anymore? How has that changed how customers or potential clients focus on where they need to be in the results? Has that changed?
Well, here's the thing. When I take on a new client, I try to show them this right out of the gate and say, I can do a search here on my computer and you can do a search on your computer, and we're going to get completely different results because you're looking up your website 100,000 times a day.
Right.
and this is the first time I'm looking at it. Well, maybe once before, preparing for the meeting or whatever. But the goal is to get people to stop focusing on where they are in the search results. It's not about where you're ranked. It's about the traffic that you're getting and the return on investment that you're seeing from that traffic.
Now, have you seen that there's more focus being placed on things like long-tail keywords in terms of overall success of businesses as well, kind of leveraging long-tail keywords?
Absolutely. The long tail has traditionally been something that search marketers have shied away from just because of the incredible complexity of possibilities in the long tail. But the truth of the matter is, with the advent of things like Google Webmaster Tools that give us this type of data from Google directly, or Bing Webmaster Tools has it as well, you can see what keywords people are using to look at your site. Instead of having to try and guess, I need to show up for these long tail keywords, you can find out which ones you're actually showing up for. And then you can optimize based on that. And to find the ones that you're not showing up for that you still want to be showing up for, you can extrapolate from what you are showing up for to find out what those are. Right. You can also look at competitive data and things like that for that type of information.
They still have me showing up for slow carb diet, and I only did that for it's part of my blog, right? And I said I only wanted to do this a couple times, and it's still today the most popular keyword that comes to my website.
14 months ago.
Yeah, slow carbs.
But how much of that traffic brings you anything useful?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, so I got to get out of that somehow. I need to get in contact with you.
Well, you don't have to get out of it necessarily. I mean, why turn the traffic away?
Yeah.
There might be 1/100% of people who are actually interested in what it is that you do beyond your slow carb diet. So don't turn it off, but recognize that it's not your power keyword.
Right.
You need to be doing what Jenny just talked about in her talk, optimizing that landing page that all that traffic is bringing you.
You're right.
And doing something with that traffic.
And force it to something like an email list or something.
Sign up for an affiliate program or something.
Yeah.
Make some money on the side.
That's a good idea. Well, I want to make sure that people find you. First of all, what kind of companies should be contacting you? And then where can we find you?
Well, I'm on the web at jlh-marketing.com. And I'm also on Twitter at Jenny Halasz. That's Halasz. That Z is, I just don't even want to talk about it. But I'm looking for people who are interested in taking their marketing to the next level. I work with very small businesses like one-man shops, and I also work with multinational companies. So it just kind of depends on where the decision makers of that company are in their evolution of marketing and of search.
Okay. And you're here in Raleigh?
Yes.
But do you work outside of Raleigh as well?
I do. I work all over. Before I was an independent consultant, I worked for an agency based in New York City.
Okay.
And then I also did a stint with Vanessa Fox's agency in Seattle, Washington.
Very nice.
So both fantastic experiences and good companies. But I've got network all around because of that. I'm very fortunate.
Awesome. Well, I definitely want to say thank you for spending some time with us, and I enjoyed your presentation. I'm going to go back to our office now and try to incorporate the ROI that you shared with me. Again, I want to welcome all of you to go check out her Twitter handle and her website. And thanks again, Jenny.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, ma'am.